Good morning, good morning, good morning, all you people out there in YouTube land. It's Phil here from Phil and Jen in the Philippines. Another vlog this morning. I spent most of last night going over the comments that all our subscribers had written to us, and I do try to, both Jen and I try to do that every night and answer all of you. I'm going to start this vlog with disclaimer, another disclaimer. Guys, this channel is not the be-all and the end-all, and it's not going to supply you with the information that's going to make your experience in the Philippines 100% safe, 100% wonderful, simply by giving you my slant on things and Jen's slant on things. You know, it's just not going to happen. The reason we started this channel is to give you our observations about our experiences here in the Philippines, what you can expect. The disclaimer basically is this, and we get it in a number of comments. There are exceptions to every rule. I can't stress that enough. For everything that I do say, someone out there will say, well, that's not true because I know somebody, or I know somebody that knows somebody that this happened to. You know, of course that occurs. I know, and you know out there, somebody that's won a lotto prize. You know, but it's not me. I didn't win the lotto prize. You know, I'm not rolling in money. We all know how things work as far as lotto and gambling and whatever is concerned, and we all know someone that's succeeded in that. But the majority of people that participate in these events don't win. And as simple as that sounds, that's exactly the same as coming to an Asian country and being out of your comfort zone and coming here. There's certain things that you may be participating by coming here and following your dream, but it's not going to work out for you. And the reasons we say things like do this and do that is to minimize the risk factor that we see waiting for you in our eyes. You know, you've got to remember this. When I started coming to Asia, as with many people out there was no internet. You know, there was a few books of which I would hazard a guess to say very few of us actually read. We came to a new place, and we observed things, and the impression that place gave us made the impression in our mind whether we liked it or we didn't like it, or it was for us or it wasn't for us. There was no resource like YouTube. There was no resource like the internet, and yet we still came and we experienced those things for ourselves. You know, that's the only guarantee of you knowing exactly what's about to happen to you. The only guarantee is you'll get on the plane, you'll arrive here, and you'll experience all these things for yourself. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'd like to answer some questions that stuck out in regard to comments from subscribers that I was so happy actually shared with me. The first one, which probably annoyed me the most until I thought about it, and I believe I probably didn't explain myself the way I should have when I started these videos. As I said, these videos are my experience in areas that I have lived within the Philippines. They are not gospel. There is no factual evidence that I know of to say that my experience has been recorded by somebody else. They've analysed it and said, yes, you're right, or no, you're wrong. You know, there is no statistical information I can draw from that I know of to support the claims that I'm making. So I am not Jesus Christ. I am not there. I'm not the oracle. My word is to be taken with somewhat a grain of salt until you experience these things yourselves. What I'm attempting to do is forewarn you that these things may occur, and, you know, and to say, you're not alone. You're not alone out there, because these are the concerns of a lot of people. This is what's happened to a lot of people that I know personally, and I'm passing on that anecdotal evidence to you. What you do with that is totally up to yourselves. You know, you're not stupid. You've lived lives. Most of you guys, and I look at my analytics, and most of the guys out there are between 55 and 65 plus that watch our channels. You're not stupid. You've got to the age of 55 and 65 plus. Then you must have something going for you, and surely you can work out what suits you, what you believe to be correct, and what you're going to act upon. You know, so that's the guts of this channel. You know, it's not a reference book. It's just a normal, everyday guy trying to pass on a little bit of information that will minimize the pain that you may never get into anyway. Okay, so I apologize if people think I know everything. I don't know everything. I make mistakes on a daily basis here. It's a learning experience for me, and I'm passing it on to you. So, you know, the subscriber was 100% correct. I have no information that I can point to. That subscriber has an analytical mind. I don't really have one of those. You know, the only thing I can comment on is what I see on a day-to-day basis. You know, the disasters I've heard of from the ground roots, the source, and I appraise those stories in my own mind. And okay, human nature is I appoint blame to a failure, whether it be the person telling it to me or whatever, whether, you know, the perpetrator of that disaster, and I weigh it up through my own experience. The second one, I hope I explained that at least reasonably well. The second one is a great subscriber of mine, and I won't mention his name, and it's in the comments if you want to go and hunt it up, but you know, I'll just briefly explain it to you. He is obviously an educated guy. He struck up a relationship. He's later in life, and I won't give you the age. It's not important. And he's formed a relationship, I would imagine, online with a young Filipina that happens to be what is considered, you know, a lot younger in the West. And we won't even go into the age gap, but there's an age gap there. And from the comment, I take it that he tried to discuss this relationship with his sister. And much to his surprise, the sister virtually turned on him and made the statement that she believed, you know, he was taking advantage of this young lady, made him feel absolutely miserable, and espoused her opinion, degrading that relationship. Well, now I'm going to say something that comes from me and me only and my thoughts. You know, everyone, especially a lot of women, and I don't want to upset women, but they do it, in my experience, and a lot of guys for that matter, but mostly women, are of the opinion that we come here and take advantage of young girls and simpletons. You know, it is not the case. You know, stop taking the moral high ground. Stop assuming that these women are half-wits. You know, they are not. You know, they know the difference between right and wrong. They survive in a country where it's so much more difficult to survive than it is in the US, and it is in Europe and Australia and whatever. They know the hardships of life on a day-to-day basis. They've made a conscious decision that they want to get out of that environment. And I don't mean physically being transported back to countries of our origins. Just get out of the ongoing poverty that is a third world or a developing country. They've tried it, they don't like it, and the only thing open to them to a certain degree, even though they're relatively well educated, is to do exactly the same as women in the West do. They try to marry up. They perceive the Westerners as married up. And this misnomer, this bullshit that you think every dirty old man that's wandering down that's sleeping in the park that can eventually scrape up enough money to come to Southeast Asia and take advantage of these women just isn't true. These guys come to this country, they've got their pensions, which goes a long way over here, they've got their savings that they've managed to accumulate over a lifetime after bringing up family. after doing everything. And now they find themselves alone. They come over here, they support these people, they create new and better environments for these people, they educate these people. And again, there's exceptions to every rule. There are pricks that come here and take advantage, that want to shag everything on two legs. But let me tell you, they don't last long. They burn out, and before too long, all the women know about it. There's no advantage being taken here by the majority of people that come over. If anything, this country will strip them bare of their arrogance, and it will strip them bare of their money if they're not careful. You know, these are not timid little creatures, you know, that have to be saved in the manner of which you are suggesting. And I'm going to say something to these people out there. If you, taking the moral high ground, want to assist these people, stop talking about it and do it with readies. Do it with money, because money's the only thing that counts, not only in our own countries, but over here. This spiritual bullshit about, you know, little white picket fence and the little house on the prairie and loving someone forever and ever and ever is an absolute myth, even in our own countries. The multitudes of people in relationships in our own countries, which if you analyse it, aren't even happy but cohabitate because it's just too difficult to part. It's just too financially, too much of a burden to separate. You know, how dare you look at a situation over here and judge it on your moral high ground? I have more respect for people, you know, these naysayers, these so-called know-alls who have never been outside their own borders, who live within a first world country with all the facilities, trying to deprive these girls of the only way they have out. It's not you people over there that have to crawl into bed at night with what you considered to be ugly old men because they've got a wrinkle here and there. Most of these guys have kind hearts and are happy to be in an environment where they are looked up to, admired, and feel useful. You know, shame on you people, shame. The only time I'll ever take any notice of anyone as far as that attitude is concerned is, one, if they've been here and seen it and seen real poverty, and two, they're backing up their so-called concern by doing something positive towards it. It's so simple to criticise. Okay, getting off that because that's bad. Talking about criticism, yes, we have a lot of suggestions, and I appreciate all the suggestions very much about how to make this channel look better, how to do certain things, where the camera should be on eye line and all these kind of things. I understand all that, but what you've got to understand is this. Apart from YouTube, I have a life here, and I don't really care. You know, our channel will get better as far as technical values are concerned when my daughter, my stepdaughter, finishes college in March, or my wife, who is more technically minded than myself as far as computers is concerned, learns different techniques to make these videos better. But in the meantime, this is what you get, and obviously it's not too bad because people are watching. Yes, I'd love to have a nice shiny thing and a Hollywood type production as far as the videos are concerned, and I appreciate all your suggestions, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to do most of them unless I find it very simple to do. So anyway, I loved the comments. Sometimes I answer and I'm a little bit, another one that I probably shouldn't answer that way, but I'll cover it. One guy out there, and you probably know, if you're still watching, you're probably unsubscribed. When I was talking about stuff to bring over here and money and this type of thing, the question was basically, and then what do you do with it? Where do you keep all this money and these documents? You know, dum da dum dum. Like as soon as he gets off the plane, he's going to be surrounded and attacked by villains. You know, my answer, my rather, well, it wasn't a good answer, but on the same token too, all I said was, where do you keep it now? Because at that stage of the game, I'd read a lot of negative comments about the Philippines, all in well-intentioned, but I took them as negative because, anyway, I took them as negative. I answered this guy rather tersely, and the next question came back. Well, he said, well, if you're espousing all this information, the least you could do is assure people the hotels are safe. And I thought about that, and of course the easy way and the glib way to do it is, oh, the hotels are safe. So I wrote back and I said, I can't assure people the hotels are safe. You know, I believe them to be safe because I've never had a problem, in essence. You know, because, you know, I haven't stayed at every hotel. There's robberies that take place at hotels where everybody that travels anywhere, whether it be in their own country or overseas, know that the hotel safes, you know, are as good as an envelope you put in the corner. You know, there's a million one YouTube channels that tell you how to break into those safes. So they're as safe, and safety over here is as safe as you make it. You know, carry it in a bum bag, carry it in your documents, in a document belt. I don't know. You're not stupid. Work it out for yourselves. You know, I'm not going to give you a step-by-step and how to clean your teeth and what to do. You're not stupid people. You know, I know it's something to say and something to think about and something you're unsure of. But half the experience of traveling is the uncertainty of what's going to happen next. That's travel. You know, work it out for yourselves. That's half the fun. Overcoming small day-to-day things when you're traveling. You know, if I told you step by step what's going to happen to you and I was 100% accurate and how relationships are going to turn out and I was 100% accurate, why would you come? It's an experience. Come, soak it up. Conquer the little things, the fears that you have. Have your relationships. Some will be the exception to the rule and you'll live happily ever after. But you know, some will end within the first 2 weeks of you physically being there. Not because you know, she's cheated you or whatever, but there's so much more to choose from. It may be as simple and as hedonistic as that. My God, I could have, if I'd come here, there's so many more women here that are more attractive and seem nicer. You know, like, that's why it may end. You may come here and be 100% happy. A lot of you will be. And a relationship like it does in the West will run its natural course. It may be 6 months, it may be 1 year, it may be 2 years. It may be 10 years. But I'm a firm believer in nothing's permanent. Everything changes. And that's the same with the relationships. But anyway, that's my little thing for this morning. Jen will do a video with me. It probably makes a damn sight more sense. Guys, I wish you well. Keep those comments coming in, but I hope you realize we do read every one of them, and we're going to continue to do that until obviously the volume of comments becomes impossible. But it's Phil in the Philippines on Jen and Phil in the Philippines. Subscribe, guys. We are, as of this particular moment, 811 subscribers. We've picked up 50 yesterday just from the last video. Thank you so much, guys. You know, do your thumbs up, your thumbs down. The comments, we love to read. We take them all on board. I apologize at times because we're inundated with so many that you may not get the answer you're looking for. Think about your comment if you're asking something. If you can work it out yourself, work it out yourself. If you can't, I'm only too happy to help you or at least acknowledge that particular inquiry. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. It's Phil and Jen in the Philippines. Cheers for now.